Hi there. I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be comparing the Blackwing Pearl Pencil and the Mate Mirado Black Warrior. Now, if you've been around here for any length of time, you know that I am a ballpoint pen kind of gal. I like a bold blue ink 1.6 millimeter lead in a ballpoint if I can get it. However, if you've watched two videos back, I have decided to just own my crazy and indulge my love of everything stationary. As my husband puts it, life goes fast, let's get stationary. And I just hollered and oohed and awed over that. I thought it was great. So you know what? I did it. I got some stationery. I've actually had this box of Blackwings for a while, well over a year. In fact, I'm not even going to, well, I'll open it, but I'm not going to use one of the pencils in there because they're not sharpened. However, let me show you what they look like. You get 12 in a box, and these are pricey. Anywhere from $27 to $30. Again, as I do in all my videos, if I can find a link to it on Amazon, I will leave that link for you down below. But when you buy Blackwings, you get a box of 12. There's more than 12 in here because I combined a couple boxes that I've had over the years. But we're going to compare these much more expensive cult following pencils to a much more economical brand and style of pencil, because I want to see, are the Blackwings really that much better than just a paper mate pencil? And, you know, we could get into not an argument, but a discussion about, you know, what about Ticonderoga? Those are supposed to be the very best. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The one thing that I don't like about the Blackwing pencils, and there are not many things I don't like, but one of the things I don't like, oh, and I shouldn't use this one because this has a clip on it from back when I was doing artwork. Can I get this off so I can show? There we go. I want to show you how it comes. It doesn't come with the clips. That's a purchase I made. But one of the things I don't like about using a Blackwing is the hexagonal, the different sizes, or excuse me, different sides to the pencil. I tend to grip pretty hard on my pens and pencils. And so that can become kind of painful for me. And yes, I could get a grip that slides on, but futzing with those grips, I don't want to do that. As much as I love stationery, I don't want to be pushing and pulling grips off my pencil. So if that doesn't bother you, that might not be a drawback for you. However, for me it is, so that I did not decide to compare this to the Ticonderoga. Instead, I went with the Mirado because I've heard great things about it. I've heard it writes nice and dark, and it has a circular, completely round casing. And these are both solid wood pencils, by the way. So I wanted to see if I liked this better than the Blackwing. Again, let's go for prices. A box of a dozen Blackwings will cost you anywhere between $27 if you get a good deal to $30. I've even seen them as high as $32.50. This set of 12 Mirado pencils cost me less than $5 at Target. I could have even gotten a better deal. I think I could have got 30 of these for $10 on Amazon. If I can find that link again for these pencils, I'll put it down below, because if I end up liking these more, I'm stocking up. This set from Target actually came with a pencil sharpener, which I thought was really cool. Name brand, in fact, an X-Acto one. So let's dive into each pencil. First, let's take a tour of the Blackwing. And these come in different variations. I like the pearl just because it's got kind of a neat pearlized Aurora Borealis, very, very faint, very slight, but slight Aurora Borealis over a white paint job. It's also cedar wood, which has a really nice aroma. I enjoy that. It's made from California incense cedar, and the graphite is Japanese graphite. Now, the other thing, oh, and something I should share is, even though these are expensive, the benefits from selling these pencils, from all the sales, they go to help music and art programs in schools. So that's certainly, you know, worthwhile. They are made in Japan. So if you live here in the United States of America, where I am, and you want to try these, I suggest you buy them now, because we have new tariffs in place. At the time of this video is April 4th, 2025. So whenever you're watching this, I'm not sure where things stand in the United States. But if you want these and you're watching this video relatively recently, or grab yourself some now before the prices go way up. So next, they don't come with this little tip protector. You can find these real cheap at Daiso, which is a very inexpensive store where I live. I think it's national. Or you can buy them on Amazon. Again, I'll look for those on Amazon for you. But I like to protect, because these are such expensive pencils, I do like to protect the tip with these if I throw it in my bag. And I do not like to store my pencils point down in my mug on my desk. I do like to store them point down, but I'm scared about ruining the point. So that's why I have that plastic protector there. Last but not least, the coolest thing I think about this particular pencil, besides the fact that it does write nice and dark, I do like that, is the eraser itself. Not only can you adjust it, but you can completely remove it and replace it. And let me show you. This is what the replacements look like. I have some regular pink pearl. They're not that brand, but they're that kind of pink eraser, as well as white vinyl. When I was doing production illustration, I learned that the white vinyl actually is easier on your paper. For whatever reason, it just doesn't ruin the tooth. That's the texture on the paper. It doesn't tear it apart. The pink pearl can do that. It generally wears down the paper over time. So if you're looking for a cleaner erase that's easier on your paper, you're always going to want to go with a white vinyl. But honestly, I like to kick it old school. I like the look, the nostalgia of a pink eraser. So I have some of those. They come in sets of 12. This is my stash that I've collected over the years. So, and this is just my little container that I found. They come in a little not a plastic container, plastic wrap, a set of 12. And they're really cheap compared to the pencils themselves. But again, getting back to how you take it out, there's a tiny little roll of metal on both sides, and you just grip that and pull it out. And as you use up the eraser, you can move it up. I'll show you. It's been in there for a while. There we go. It just comes out like that, and you move it, and then you shove it back in there. There you go. So I do love that feature, because we all know that a pencil is huge and long. And the eraser on the end is so darn tiny, right? And, you know, we're all going to make mistakes. So, you know, why not make it easy to fix them? So there we go. So that would be the Blackwing Pearl. Now let's take a peek. Let me close up my pencils here. Let's take a peek at the Mirado, because like I said, I've only heard about them. I've never actually used them or looked at them myself. So let's crack this package open. Oh, I should have done it from the other end so I don't ruin the tips. Apologies. Not doing this very gracefully. There we go. Okay, now first of all, I can tell you right now, the tip on that is not too impressive, but that's okay. I can sharpen that myself. I'm not even going to try this sharpener, because I might give it to my son. I'm going to instead use my pretty little glass inkwell sharpener that I just love having on my desk. It makes me happy to look at. This was actually a, oh, you can see some of my shavings in there. This is made by Alvin, which is a architectural company. They create architectural tools and equipment, and I just fell in love with this at my local art store, and yes, it was kind of pricey. I think I've seen them on Amazon too. Again, I'll look for a link on this, but I just love the quality, and again, I just love that it looks old-fashioned. So I don't like this point. Let's make this better. Oh, this is going to take forever, isn't it? I can tell you right now, I already like holding this pencil better. Oh, that's way better. Okay, a couple more turns and we'll call it good. Good enough. Okay, perfect. Let's learn about this pencil a little bit, shall we? It's a number 2 pencil, Mirado Black Warrior. Quality wood with a dark, bold lead. 100% latex-free eraser. Okay. All right, so it is solid wood, just like the Blackwing. I tell you right now, something I don't like. This eraser looks even, while I like it's a traditional pink eraser, it looks even shorter and squattier than I remember erasers on like a Ticonderoga being. When I was teaching, I requested the kids get Ticonderoga pencils just because, oh my gosh, I'm going to date myself. When I was teaching, we had a hand cranking pencil sharpener that was mounted to the wall, and the kids would sit there and crank and crank and crank, and it would take them forever, and I swear their pencil would be halfway gone by the time they got a good point, because the point would constantly break. And so the most stable leads I could find at an economical price for the kids would be the Ticonderoga pencils. They did not break the lead inside nearly as much as, you know, off-brand or cheaper pencils. But I remember the erasers being much, much bigger on the Ticonderoga. So that's cheap. But I guess, you know what, you can always have just like, you know, a standalone eraser. This is one of my favorite erasers. They're made in Korea. And I have not been able to find these on Amazon. I just buy them in bulk when I make an order to Jet Pens. And I'll leave a link to Jet Pens below. My son and I, this is our favorite eraser. One, it's just a nice size. Two, it erases beautifully. And three, it's really, really soft. And they do last quite a while. So I'm going to use that eraser today because we're going to test how they erase, both with the eraser that came with the pencil as well as a just standalone eraser. And we're going to test it on two different surfaces today. We're going to try it on my favorite index cards because we all know I love index cards. And we're going to test both pencils on just a regular old notepad. This is my favorite notepad that I like using for task lists and such. So first, we're going to try writing with the Blackwing, and I'll just write something on both. Blackwing, I think it's one word, isn't it? Oops, oh well, forgive me. Blackwing Pearl, and then, let's see, Blackwing Pearl. Okay, and again, I'm pressing pretty hard. I have a heavy hand. What was this? Was this an HB or it just says balanced? I think this is HB, which is a good B if you're unfamiliar with it. A 2B is relatively soft lead, which means it's going to write very, very dark, but it can break. H stands for hard. So an HB is a good medium, good compromise between hardness, so stiffness and strength of the lead, compared to softness. It should still write or draw pretty dark. So this is an HB, I believe. The Mirado is a 2, number 2 pencil. So let's have a peek at this. I loved how this writes. The lead goes on very smooth, very dark, as you can see. And even though I've got a nice sharp point on this, it did not break. So let's try the Mirado. And this is made by Paper Mate. Ooh, I can already see that, I don't know, crumbs, dust. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, Mirado Black Warrior. Okay, it does write nice and dark, just like the Black Pearl, and it is a lot nicer. It's nice matte, soft paint on this casing. I do like that. Mirado Black. Okay, but I can tell the tip is going down a lot faster than the Blackwing. Okay, so next what we're going to do, we're going to do a smudge test, because that is my one downside with pencils, is the smudge. I don't like the grit and the dirt. So let's try the Blackwing Pearl first. Okay, very, very faint, not much. Let's try it on the paper. Okay, a little more on the paper compared to the index card. Now let's try the Mirado. And I'm going to be fair with a clean finger here. Oh, that smudges a lot more than my last clean finger. Okay, so close up, you can see there's far more smudging with the Mirado compared to the Blackwing Pearl. And there's, I would say it's about the same on the notepad, the notebook paper. All right, now let's try the erasers that came with the pencil. So this is the Blackwing Pearl and the Blackwing. Okay, that doesn't erase very well at all. No, I can still say wing right there. Let's try the Blackwing, or excuse me, the Mirado Black Warrior. Nope, not great. Not great at all. I think that they scored or did about equally on that. Let's try the notepad. Oh man, again, not great. Not great there either. You know what? Just for fun, let's try the Blackwing Pearl pink pearl eraser. Let's erase the G. Nope, same kind of. No, not a fan. Man. Huh. You know what? I wonder if I just didn't realize this when I was doing art, because I didn't erase a lot, believe it or not, when I was doing artwork, because I usually drew fairly lightly. That's why I like these pencils, because they hold the point. And I would just draw over my lines over and over till I got what I wanted. But so maybe that's why I don't remember having this much problem with erasing. Let's try a standalone eraser. And this is not, this is a pretty good eraser. This should do a pretty good job. Okay. This does a much better job than the regular old pink eraser that comes with the Mirado pencil. Now let's try the Blackwing Pearl. Oh yeah, same. Much better. Okay, and then, so the standalone eraser did much better on the index card for both the Blackwing and the Mirado. Now let's try it on the notepad. It also does better. But I'm disappointed because it doesn't erase everything. And it makes a big old mess. So that is disappointing. I wouldn't say there's a clear standout winner here. What I will say is if you want to have clean erase lines or writing, don't write with a heavy hand with any kind of pencil. If you have a very light hand and you write fairly lightly to begin with, you're probably fine with either pencil. If you're the kind of person who doesn't mind sharpening your pencil a lot, and you prefer or you prioritize a nicer, more comfortable grip, I would highly recommend the Mirado. They both write very nice and dark. However, the Mirado created a lot more dust while writing, and it also smeared much, much more than the Blackwing Pearl. The other thing that I think is worth noting that you can't see on camera is the weight of these pencils. Because of the addition of a removable and replaceable eraser on the Blackwing, there's a lot more metal than there is at the top of the Mirado pencil. So as you might assume, it adds some weight to the pencil itself. To me, that's not a downside. I like a counterbalance when I'm writing, but some people might not enjoy that. So I'm going to have to say, even though I'm not really a fan of this traditional multi-sided or multifaceted pencil case on the Blackwing, I do, oh man, I did not enjoy using the Mirado Black Warrior pencil. In fact, I think these are going to go to my youngest son who likes to do tracing. He might enjoy this set, but yeah, disappointing. I was really hoping to find an economical winner in this Papermate because it was the Papermate Mirado Black Warrior because it was so much cheaper. But nope, tossed to the side. I will continue to use the Blackwing, at least until I find a good mechanical pencil that I like. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.